The 2024 Money in the Bank Premium Live event comes to you this Saturday from Toronto, Canada. And you know the Flex Zone Podcast, we will be live reacting to it with you here on the Flex Zone Podcast, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. God's favorite host back again as we are inching closer to Money in the Bank, a little bit over 24 hours away. We got the men's Money in the Bank ladder match we're going to talk about today, but make sure you super kick that subscribe button, like a bomb that like button, backdrop that bell, sign up in the comment section, and let me know your thoughts for Money in the Bank and your predictions as we get into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. As mentioned, will be live at 7 p.m. on Saturday. We got the men's Money in the Bank ladder matches. Jey Uso, yeet. Newcomer Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, and L.A. Knight, and Drew McIntyre all will be a part of this here match. Now, with the participants, Jey Uso, I'm cool with. If you listen to anything that I've mentioned regarding this match, the Money in the Bank match for months, he was the prohibited favorite. Just the way it was looking at, the way they were booking things, it looks like he would have been the front runner. But things drastically changed, as we know, in the wrestling industry, and it has changed in this match. But Jey Uso seems to be hitting into some sort of intertwinement with Chad Gable, maybe some sort of intertwinement with the new Wyatt Six. When we look at Carmelo Hayes, he is a newcomer, but he has shown he belongs. I think he's not obviously not going to win this match, but don't be surprised if Carmelo Hayes is your next United States champion after LA Knight. Obviously, LA Knight, who we're going to get to in a second, is on a collision course with Logan Paul, but don't be surprised if Carmelo Hayes is the guy that beats LA Knight as a vicious heel. We got Andrade, who really since his arrival has done nothing more but won the Speed Championship. And it just seems like these North American companies, whether it's WWE, AEW, WWE, they just can't get Andrade right. And yes, he won the Speed Championship from Ricochet. He's going to be in this match, but nobody believes or cares or even has an inkling that he's going to win this match. What are we doing with Andrade heading into SummerSlam? Probably nothing of importance, in my opinion. We got Chad Gable. Gable, who seems to be the first target of the Wyatt Six, looking to build his new Alpha Academy with the Creeds and Ivy now. Could be where we're headed with that feud. And I'm cool with it. Obviously, there could be a situation where Chad Gable does win, possibly cashing in on the IC title, which we've seen Austin Theory try to cash in on the US title unsuccessfully. But we could get a situation where where Chad Gable, before I get to LA Knight, Chad Gable tries to cash in on the IC title, but I don't see that happening. I think the Wyatt Six could either incapacitate him before the match, they could incapacitate him during the match, they could scare him during the match. Nikki Cross or one of the other members could appear, and then we get to LA Knight. I was kind of shocked that he's in this match. I thought him and Logan Paul would cancel each other out when we got to the triple threat match. And he pinned Logan Paul. So obviously Logan Paul seems like he's going to interfere in this match to cause LA Knight. I could see Logan Paul hitting him with that punch, some brass knuckles, incapacitating LA Knight, not allowing him to win because it looks like him and Logan Paul are on a collision course for SummerSlam in Cleveland, Logan Paul's hometown. As I mentioned, Chad Gable seems to be in a collision course with some sort of Wyatt Six program. That's not going to do him no favors because he's losing that clearly. So hope you love the new contract, Chad Gable, but we love you. And I think he still will eventually be an IC champion at some point, maybe within the next 6 to 12 months. Carmelo, your time is not yet. Maybe next year, possibly, but I could see you as a future U.S. champion. And Jey Uso, he was the favorite, but it looks like they're going to probably pivot. And like I mentioned with Sammy, Jay, Jimmy, they have a bigger story with the bloodline that they will probably be intertwined with the second half of 2024. Now, Drew McIntyre was inserted into this match after he was screwed at Clash at the Castle. He did win the three-way match, which was a fantastic match with Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov. And I think Drew McIntyre is your prohibited favorite here. He already said he's going to win. He said he's going to cash in the same night, and he's walking out with the world title. So when I do my world title preview, that will probably be the main event of the show. I think also we could get to a point where this match opens the show. Looking at how the matches line up, I can see the men's Money in the Bank opening the show. Drew McIntyre climbing the briefcase because I know everybody wants to see the CM Punk interference. I think this could become a little too convoluted with all the possible interferences with Chad Gable with the White Six and LA Knight with Logan Paul and possibly even Jey Uso. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. Does the bloodline somehow maybe interact with Jey Uso? We could see that. Or maybe he comes face to face with Solo and it's no physicality. It's just a tense seed planted of story for what could eventually come back around as we head towards the second half of 2024, like I mentioned. I don't think Drew is screwed by CM Punk in this match. I think that could happen a little later on. Stay tuned for my World Heavyweight Championship preview. I got a little booking of how that may go. But I could see literally a situation where Drew McIntyre is just dominant most of the match. We could have Chad Gable removed. We could have LA Knight distracted. And it could really just be Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and I would even say maybe Jey Uso. Probably coming down to Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre telling that long-term story. Is there maybe the last two trying to climb up the ladder, or they're the last few trying to get up the top to the briefcase, and maybe we get a situation where we do see the bloodline interact with Jey Uso and it just not necessarily scares him, but just more or less distracts him enough that allows Drew McIntyre to do what he said he's going to do. He's the prohibitive favorite. It looks like the Drew McIntyre story is going to continue with CM Punk obviously heading into SummerSlam. I think that's where the first match will be. And I think this is a situation where the story is bigger than the moment. We know Jey Uso could have had a great moment. We know Chad Gable could have a great moment. Hell, we know LA Knight could have a great moment. And Drew McIntyre. I would honestly say 4 out of these 6 guys have a legit story that could lead to them winning Money in the Bank or a story that's going to take them into SummerSlam. But I do see Drew McIntyre winning the men's Money in the Bank here. I'm going to pivot using one of the best or favorite words in the IWC. I'm going to pivot from Jey Uso, as I was saying, since maybe WrestleMania season. And I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. If you ever paid attention to some of my favorite wrestlers, I love what he's done. I love him as a heel. I loved him as a Scottish psychopath. And he's doing great here. And I think he probably even wrestles the match or pulls out the bracelet at some point with the briefcase. And Drew McIntyre will attempt to cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship later on that evening. But I want to hear from you down in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys think about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who is your winner? Who do you have winning this match? Do you go with the Jey Uso? Do you go with a upstart Carmelo Hayes? Do you go with a Andrade who's kind of ice cold? Do you go with Chad Gable, just not a new deal? LA Knight, who was always over with the fans? Or do you continue with the story of Drew McIntyre possibly having his third opportunity this year to win the World Heavyweight Championship to be potentially snatched away by the Second City Saint CM Punk? But on here from you, Touchdown family, super quick that subscribe button, like a bomb, that like button, back that bell. Go ahead, let us know how you feel. This is your comment section. This is the only place giving you your sport content and wrestling content, how you want it when you need it. Check us out this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, Toronto, Money in the Bank, live on Peacock. We'll be here breaking it down, reacting to every moment, match, and outcome, and everything in between, because you know how we do on our live streams. We get there. But it's a Flex Zone podcast. Only place giving you that wrestling coverage how you want it when you need it. It's God's favorite host. I'm signing off. We're a little bit over 24 hours away from what could be one of the more memorable Money in the Bank PLEs in the recent memory. Definitely probably the last 3 or 4 years. And we'll see what happens with that. I'm going with Drew McIntyre to win the briefcase. Stay tuned to see how it plays out when he does win that briefcase for the World Heavyweight Championship match between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. Let me know prediction for all the other matches. And let me know what else you want to see on the channel. God's favorite host, signing off. I'll see you Saturday, guys.